and there are projects that people are doing all over the world. But how can we ensure that these projects are being moved around the world quickly enough? How do we ensure that we all know about what's happening? And how do we ensure that we're equipped enough to make the right choices to implement the right things in our own cultures? So this is where SIX comes in. So as Jeff said, SIX is a community of 3,000 individuals, and it's about collaborating, sharing, learning, insight, inspiring. And by this kind of collaboration, we hope we'll speed up the process of innovation between cultures and contexts and countries. But inside this wider community is a very tight group. And I say tight, we're tight and open at the same time, I think. A tight group of around 200, 300 individuals from all sectors who are working together because we want to exchange, we want to enable people to have what it takes to solve those problems. And what it takes could be your finance, it could be your personal, it could be knowledge, it could be a number of things, but it's about what it takes to solve these challenges. And we believe that if this kind of community becomes effective, it really can influence the way that society progresses. We can send the links around of these things afterwards, but the SIX website essentially is the community space where people meet and where you can go to see what's going on in the world of social innovation. And we're about to have a big revamp, so and rebrand, which we'll be launching in November, so don't look too hard at that. And then Social Innovator is the online resource bank of all of the methods that Jeff talked about that are in the open book of social innovation. So if you don't have the book, you can go here and access the same information. But essentially what we do at SIX, you know what we are, we do two things. We convene and influence. We're looking at the supply and demand for social innovation. We're looking at creating the space at the top and enabling the people at the bottom. And so we bring people together, and we also have quite a lot of fun. And I know Emma and Kitty came to our spring school last year. But this is essentially what we do. We hold a series of summer schools where people come together and really have a space outside of their work to learn, collaborate, and be inspired. And I just think we can't value this enough. And we either come together around the field of social innovation more generally, or we come together around specific social innovation fields or priority areas. So this is something we did on ageing. We did something earlier on this year on co-creation. We've done stuff on health, education, cities. And then the other way we convene people is through regular monthly telepresence sessions. So Cisco is one of our core partners in the network. And we're very lucky to be able to use Cisco telepresence technology to link people together. And so we come together around either methods or tools or ways of working for social innovation. So an interesting one is the idea of social impact bonds, which Jeff mentioned earlier on, a new kind of preventative investment, which is being pioneered by Ronald Cohen, as he said, in the UK. But there's also social impact bonds starting up in Australia, which has a slightly different model. And another one starting up or hopefully starting up in Canada shortly. So there's a lot of people around the world that are really interested in, for example, a new method of preventative investment. So we're finding these discussions incredibly helpful in terms of people in different countries being able to move their agenda along. And we'll talk about how we can be involved with you guys all afterwards. But I think the telepresence sessions are a really good way to do that. And what happens is members of the SIX community come to us and say, you know, I really want to do a session on, you know, policy around measuring, or I really want to do a session on, I don't know, aging, collaborative consumption, different approaches to food, how you can set up an incubator. And so we convene a group of people that we know are experts or interested in this area, and people can move their agendas forward.